The journey into the political crisis for the country that just emerged from a civil crisis in 2005 was not by default, but political analysts say it was a protracted plan by three regional heads of states to create a undemocratic precedent that can't be possible in a democratic dispensation for one to rule for 3 terms in emerging democracies. If prominent politicians in Burundi with some senior army generals did not wake up to the occasion, another Museveni in Burundi was on the horizon to arm twist the law, do away with presidential term limits.
Many of the leaders in the region, particularly President Museveni and President Paul Kagame, seem to be people who benefited or want to benefit from the third-term project. So I think that this has put the East African community on the spotlight. I think the East African Assembly as well was wishy-washy about its response to what's happening in Tanzania, in Burundi, because what is happening in Burundi is a perversion of the rule of law.
President Nkurunziza, who had fallen out with President Museveni and Paul Kagame of Rwanda on the political front and had become a darling to President Kikwete of Tanzania. However, the demand for a third term was a laid trap to get him back to the club of the 2 old boys, whose leadership political ambitions points to running a military regime painted with democratic cosmetic. However, the army checking on Nkurunziza shouldn't be overlooked with a simple analysis that the 2 arrested army generals and 1 still on the run wanted power. Of course, other countries can treat it as a case of indiscipline in the 21st century for one to think of a coup to topple a regime.
The democratic leaves out the army. In fact, the constitution provides for payment from national coffers. Anybody who takes power through the gun or forceful takeover of power. So that one in Uganda is out.
But analyst Opia holds a different view, that the Burundi army exhibited high regard and respect to the constitution of the country.
Even if the coup leaders have been arrested, the outpouring of support in the streets of Bujumbura and across the country show a very high level of discontent with the country's leadership. So the perversion, the legitimate use of the courts, the intimidation of the courts, intimidation of parliament, to try and serve the interests of an individual, long-term breeds instability, breeds conflict, and I think that people in the region must learn from that.